Hello, and welcome to another episode of Founder Stories with me, where I speak to bootstrap founders about their journey to grow. This episode is brought to you by ProductLogz, a feedback management platform where you can collect and organize your feature requests, publish roadmaps, and share product updates with your users. So today's episode is a very interesting episode as I talk to Bhanu Teja, who is the founder of Feather.so and of SiteGpt. He recently sold his previous startup, which is Feather.so, for a whopping $250K. And we are going to talk everything about how he started his journey at Feather.so and how he is continuing and growing SiteGpt. So without any further ado, let's get started. Hey, hello, hi Bhanu.
Hey, hi.
How are you? How have you been? Thanks for coming on the show, first of all.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Although we met like 2 days ago, I am doing well since then. In fact, very well. Would love to start with, first of all, with the huge news that we have all been surrounded with. That is your selling of Feather.so. But I want to know, like, how are you feeling right now after this last couple of days that has been going on?
So, like I started selling it a long time ago. Like I was looking for a buyer since November, I think. So I'm relieved.
You relieved?
Finally over.
Okay. Okay. I mean, and what are any other feelings like, bittersweet
So
because that was your.
always very exciting, right? Like to be able to like build something. It's been going on for almost 4 years now. So ever since I started on this journey. So yeah, like having like it's possible to build it and then sell it after 4 years. Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you spend so much of time, and actually, you see, the biggest result or the biggest fruit is when somebody comes and gives you a huge amount for your product. So we'll go into Feather a little bit later in the details. What I would like to do is go travel back in time to when Bhanu actually first started, indie hacking. So I would like to know what was that thing that led you to know I want to do indie hacking. I don't want to do a job. What set in motion when when you quit your job, or was it actually that you this entire indie hacking thing itself actually allowed you to quit your job? When did it exactly start?
So in the job, right? Like whatever I was doing, it did not felt like it mattered. Like so if I don't do something on any particular day, I know like there will be like 100 other people who will do. So I did not feel that I'm making any impact or what I'm doing actually mattered.
Mhm.
So that's the one of the main reasons why I quit my job. So like every day I did not feel like, okay, what am I doing it for? Like who am I doing it for? So so yeah, I decided like after 6 months into the job, I realized that okay, this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I quit my job, and then yeah, so then I like partnered with someone else, someone I know, and I started building the product, their product. It's their vision. So it did not go anywhere. So for 1 year after quitting, I quit my job in January of 2020.
Mhm.
So for 1 year, so nothing happened. We built everything in private. Nobody knew about it. And by the time we launched, it's all crickets. Like there were no customers. We did not even launch it properly. So then, yeah, we went our own separate ways. So that's when like my actual indie hacking journey started. So yeah, that's how it all started in 2020 when I quit my job.
So were you introduced to indie hacking at that point of time itself, or after that 1 year of time you spent and then you came to know about indie hacking?
Yeah. So in that 1 year, that's when like I knew that like this 9 to 5 traditional job is not what I wanted to do. But I did not know like what else I can do. So after I quit my job, so that 1 year period is there, right? That's
Mhm.
when I like all of my learning happened.
Yeah.
So I became very good at tech. I can code anything during that 1 year itself.
Wow.
So when So if you are building on some other project which is built by someone else, the learning you get is very low. But if you are building something from scratch
Mm-hmm.
to a production ready version where you have actual users, the learning you get is completely different. And that one
Absolutely.
year really helped me build this knowledge. So after that 1 year has passed, I have enough knowledge so that I can build anything I want.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, that 1 year is actually what helped me for the next 3 or 4 years. Uh,
Wow.
so in that 1 year, I started blogging about everything I'm learning, because I learned so many things every day. And when I face a new same problem again, I wanted to refer back to my learnings. So that's when I started blogging everything. So if I face some problem and I solved it, I just blog about it. Okay, if you face this problem, this is how to solve it, and I used to refer back to my own blog post. So even my first idea, like the initial version of Feather, even that came because of my blogging. So yeah.
Wow, interesting. I think like as and when you start building or you are doing something, anything, whether it's building a product or even doing, like for myself, I'm doing a podcasting. Every day there is a new learning, right? And if you and what I haven't yet done this about documenting my journey, because now I can relate with you that if you start documenting your journey, you'll understand after 1 year that these were the learnings that I had got, and you might face the same problems or difficulty again. And that is a very great resource to go back to in that whenever as and when you are going on in your journey. So interesting. I mean, that was really interesting that you were documenting your journey right from the very beginning. But that in that period of 1 year, and I think this phase a lot of us founders or indie hackers face, that some, like even for me, I've quit my job, or there are many other people who have quit their job and they are starting up afresh or starting very new. But it takes time to actually come to a stage where you can actually even pay salary for yourself. So how was that 1 year? How did that 1 year look like for you? Did you face burnouts? Did you face sadness, or like lack of motivation?
So for me, it was a bit different. So there were no dependents on me in my family, and so even if I did not make any money for the next 2 or 3 years, nothing was going to happen. So for me, that's like a very good thing for me. So that helped. So that there was no pressure that I need to get some lakhs of rupees every month. So so there was time for me. So I moved back to my parents' house. So there was no rent, there was no food expenses. The only expenses I had are my server costs. So all I had to earn is whatever my bill for the server is going to be. So I did a freelancing. Like after 1 year, when I realized that okay, this is not working out, I need to build something of my own. I did freelancing for I think 2 or 3 months. I did some crypto bounties, and I got up to a runway for like 1 or 2 years. So that's when okay. So now that I have the runway, I quit my job again, this freelancing again, and started building something of my own. So the first thing I did is okay, what can I build? So I am facing this problem of publishing my blog post every day. So every day I write my blog post in Notion. I export it, upload it to my CMS, for reformat it, upload all the images. Like it takes good like 15 to 30 minutes for every blog post. So I thought, okay, what if I'm writing on
Were
Notion?
you,
Why not?
sorry to interrupt, were you using any other platform for publishing your post at that time?
Yeah, so I was using Hashnode. Hashnode was very good because uh, there is a developer community involved in Hashnode. So Hashnode was my first blogging platform. So I used to document everything there, but still it was taking time for me to do it. So I thought, okay, why not do this as my first product? It was not meant to be a real product that generates revenue. It was just a side project. So I thought, okay, let's build a blogging platform where I use Notion as the CMS. So I write on Notion, and my platform should automatically publish it as a blog post.
Mm.
So that's how the initial version of Feather. It was called MDX.1 at that time. So I launched that product through that.
Yeah. And how, like, did you launch it on Product Hunt or was it just
So it's
organic?
just like again. So this was everything I documented on Twitter. So I used to post every day. Okay, this is what I built today. These are the problems I faced. This is the new feature I built today. So I documented each and everything. So by the time I launched this MDX.1, there were already some people who knew about it. So at that time I started with there was no following. So when I was building it, when I was documenting my journey, that's when like people started to like follow my journey, and
So at that point of time, how many followers did you have
so I
when you
started
started?
from zero, like everyone. So so that
Wow. And
started
today you are at some 30K followers,
around
somewhere
25
out there. Yeah,
something.
25. Wow, wow. Yeah. Done.
Yeah. So when you are documenting your journey, right? If you do it consistently every day, like people want to start supporting you. So that's what happened even in my case. So I got initial users for MDX.1. I had I think around 1,000 free users and 25 paying customers. So was going good. I had around 200 MRR. So everything was going good, but so suddenly one month I got a bill from Vercel saying like your bill went to $10,000.
Mhm,
Uh, so that's when like everything changed. So now I can't pay that bill. Like I don't have like that much money. Like all like that would be my entire runway.
mhm,
Like paying to one single month's bill. So I talked to them. So fortunately they let go of that bill. So I shut off all the signups to the product. I removed all the free users. So then I like the next 5 months, I just spent figuring out like, okay, how can I make this better? How can I
mhm,
scale it properly?
mhm,
Then I figured it out, like rewrote everything from scratch, and then so the end product, right? Like after 5 months, I rebuilt everything, and it became so different from the original product. I did not feel like I should launch it with all this baggage of
mhm,
previous product.
mhm,
So I rebranded and relaunched it as a completely new product.
mhm,
I named it as Feather, and yeah, like many people don't even know that okay, this Feather is the same idea as the previous product, but it does not matter. Like people
mhm,
will forget after some time that okay, it's the same product. It
mhm,
won't matter. So this time when I relaunched it with a new name, it instantly took off.
mhm,
I got customers on day one itself because everyone knew like what I was doing in these 5 months. It's
mhm,
not like I went away for 5 months, did something completely private. No, but so it's like everyone knew that what I was doing in these 5 months. Everyone knew that I was working on this new product called Feather.
mhm,
Everyone knew that I was going to launch it.
mhm,
So by the time I launched it, I already had a customer.
mhm.
So yeah, that's how Feather started.
Yeah, interesting. So you're saying when you launched, you had a customer, but so like, did you change the platform entirely? Like before, you said you had some 1,000 free users and 20 paying customers. So, didn't you get them on board for Feather, or was it a different platform completely?
Yeah, it's a completely different platform. I moved them to like Feather. So on Feather, I did not have a free plan.
Mhm,
It was paid from the start because I realized that I don't have the skill set to convert free users to like paying customers. I just don't
mhm.
have that. So I thought, okay, if I don't have that skill set, why to like uh, try it?
Bought them. Yeah.
Start I should just like create a paid only plan and say again this is all an experiment, right? Like okay, if this did not work out, I can like, just roll back and add free
Yeah.
things. Like there is not like okay, this is set and done. You can
Yeah.
always change it, so
Mhm.
why not play to our strengths?
Yeah,
I know that
absolutely.
if someone pays it, I know how to give excellent customer support to them, so that they will stay forever. So I thought okay, why not like start with the paid plan, make them like become loyal to Feather. And then okay, if it's not growing as fast as I want, I can try to see if free plan makes sense. But at that time, that was the only idea I had. So I started with the paid plan, and yeah, it like fortunately worked out in my favor.
Amazing. I think it's a very good strategy, although it was not intentional. But to get, to get a good validation of your product, just push it out, launch it out with a paid plan, and you don't have to like go across people saying that would you pay for this feature, or would you pay, or wouldn't you pay, something like that. Just launch it out and see how the turnout is. And if and for you, it really went out great. That I think the name has some luck in it. Do you think?
Okay. So
Name became your lucky charm.
even the name is decided by Twitter audience, right? Like
Okay.
one day I tweeted saying, "Okay, I'm launching this new product. What should I name it?"
Yeah.
Everyone gave suggestions. Like like everyone. So one of this tweet is Feather as like a very lightweight blogging platform. So that's
Yeah.
how they described the Feather as.
Wow.
So even the name came from other people. It's not my own invention. So
Amazing.
even the logo, someone Dustin, he created logo and told me, okay, you can use this for. So everything like none of
Wow.
it is my own creation. So everything came from because I was building in public, because I was documenting my journey, because everyone was seeing it. So even the first customer, right? So I launched Feather, but I did not tell anyone that okay, Feather is live. I was just documenting everything. So what happened is one day a customer signed up just to see if sign up works. They signed up, it worked, and then they tried to pay for a plan just to see okay, will the payment go? Payment went through. Then they tried to create a blog. Blog got created. Then okay, so everything is done. So they just started using it. So it's like I got a customer even before launching it. So yeah, so everything. So then that happened because like people tried that because I was documenting my journey. So yeah, so even today I try to do the same thing. And yeah, it has been like working for me so far.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I think if you are somebody is wants to even understand the platform, and this doesn't hit your mind. I mean, it's coming so natural to you, but this doesn't hit your mind that well, somebody might just go ahead and sign up and pay. I mean, what is the problem? What is the harm in putting that pricing button? Go buy on the internet. Just put that button. So yeah, I think that really worked out well for you, and I think it's a very good learning lesson for all of us as well. But I would like to go a little bit back there, where you transitioned from MDX to Feather, right? So how much time did that take? And you are saying that your initial audience, also customers, came from Twitter itself. So like the first after that first customer that you got on Feather to the next 10, 15 customers, how did you go about that?
Yeah, so initially, so what I did is I built it for one customer. So I knew that I was in talks with one of the customers. I built this platform just for them at the start. So I built everything they asked. So every feature, everything. So I solved only one problem. You write it on Notion, and that should get converted into a blog post. So that's the only thing I started with. Then with that feature, I got second customer. Then I built whatever the second customer wanted. So that's how like I got the initial 5 or 6 customers. Just building one by one what they are asking for. So that's when it started to get actual traction. So that's when I had to choose pick and choose what to build and what not to build. So then I prioritize something. I asked okay, what is the problem that you are facing, and then I ask the users their problem and I come up with solution. So that's how I got the next initial set of customers. So the one thing that helped me initially is people used to tell me, okay, we have a WordPress blog. Can I publish it on Feather? So I actually manually spent like I think I manually spent up to 5 6 hours for each blog. So I just copied all their WordPress blog posts. There are hundreds of blog posts for each
Yeah,
user.
yeah,
I just
yeah.
copied it to Notion and then created a feather blog, and finally transferred that feather blog to them. So
Oh
I
wow, you did all of that manually.
yeah, so there was I tried to use WordPress API. It was not reliable. So the initial 15-20 users, I spent 5 or 6 hours to get each one of them.
My
Uh,
God.
so 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 yeah, that's how I got the initial customers. I used to just sit and manually copy paste hundreds of blog posts into Notion, and then
Wow.
upload images separately again. It took so much time to do
Yeah.
it, but
Yeah. I
still,
mean,
like, yeah,
yeah,
people,
you could have utilized that time to build another feature or something, but or something else, but you took that time to get those customers who were looking for, transitioning from WordPress to uh, Feather. So you took that time out, you did it manually, you validated it. So that's again a great strategy.
yeah, yeah. So initially, right, you say you heard about that saying, right? Like saying, do things that don't scale. So
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is like one of those things where you want customers, these customers are interested in Feather. So the only bottleneck for them is they don't have their content on Notion, but they use Notion. So I fill that gap. So once I did it for 15-20 customers, then I hired a VA and asked them to do it. But
Oh,
so the initial the customers, I did it myself, just to see if okay, if I spend 5 to 6 hours, would they still convert, or would they say that yeah, okay, but I won't pay it. But
mhm.
fortunately, every one of them became a customer of Feather, and some of them are present even today. So yeah.
Nice, nice. So basically, what you did was these customers. So first question I want to ask, that these customers that came to you, were they all coming from Twitter or word of mouth, or were you doing
Yeah, so
some?
initially everything was from Twitter. So for the initial few months, every customer I got came because they know me personally, documenting my journey on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so like after the initial months, people started coming through other people telling them, or them hearing about Feather somewhere. But the initial few months, it's all because of Twitter.
Yeah, that's a great skill to have and to develop also, that keep whatever you are doing, just keep documenting your journey. You never know when people would find interest in it, or would find interest in your product, and they do have the similar problem, a solution for a problem that you are building. So talking about problem, how did you identify this as a problem, that, or like, I know that you told that while you were building your own blogs, so that was a problem that you personally faced. But a lot of us also think that we should validate our ideas by talking to other customers first and then probably build. Did it go the similar way, or was it just the opposite?
So for me, right, like I became so good at coding that it did not matter. So I know that okay, at max it will take maybe 1 month for me to launch this product. So in my case, in the worst case, okay, like 1 month would go away. Like there is nothing that is going to happen with 1 month of work going away. I would at least build some side project. So I thought, okay, I did not validate it for this reason, because I know I can launch it quickly. And if it doesn't work out, if the market says that okay, like no one would want to use it, like nothing is going to happen. Okay, 1 month of work is going to go to waste, and that's fine for me. Like, so even if I want to validate, right, like I don't know how to do that. Like what do I have to, like, send a survey? Would survey work? Like would, like, if someone says they will buy it, would they actually buy it? If
Yeah,
they
yeah.
actually buy it, then oh, okay, okay, it's actually useful to them. If they say they will buy it, is that actually validation? Like people say that you need to validate it, but how will you validate? Is there a better validation than actually them paying
Then
for it?
actually, yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's what I went with it. Like so tech part, if you can build something in 2 weeks or maybe 1 month. If
Hmm.
you can't do it in 1 month, then like reduce the scope. If you are launching it with 100 features, launch it with one feature. What is the one problem that you can solve for your user, and would someone pay for that one feature? So that's the I think that is the validation that I use. So it's not a traditional validation where I talk to the market, I research it, and see that, oh, this problem exists, people might buy it. I actually built it and then ask them, okay, will like try it. If they actually end up paying for it, yeah, it's validated. So that's the validation I did.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I think this process is basically go build it, launch it, put the buy button, and see what happens. Like, see, get feedback from there on, instead of shooting out, like, build a common one solution to one problem, and just launch it out there, put it out there, and put the buy button, and see how the feedback and how people are reacting to it. And yes, it's a very good thought that I understood from you, that maximum, what are the like, what would happen if this doesn't go well? I mean, build a product which has least tech support, or least tech resources allowed, or build something which doesn't take a lot of time for you, or just reduce the scope and just put it out there. So
Correct.
yeah, that's a very great way to actually at least do the beginning, or at least start off with.
Yeah.
And so how did you, like, did you see any competitors at that point of time who were building the same thing? How did you get that inspiration to, build the entire product, like design the entire? Because what I feel, and a lot of others also who had asked this question on Twitter, that, like, how do you get the inspiration to build a product from scratch? Do you take did you just do it on the fly, or did you take some inspiration from others,
So,
blog side?
so when I built my first product, I realized that I'm not good at design. I'm talking about MDX.1.
Mhm.
So when I launched Feather, I hired a professional designer for it. So I hired someone from India. He is very good at designing. I just told him, okay, this is what I am thinking of. This is how the blog creation process should look like, and then he came up with the designs. I implemented it. So the design part, I did not do it. I hired someone to do it, but like I had so many plans of what Feather is going to be, but I started with a simple problem. You write on Notion, you publish it to a website, to a blog. So that's the thing I started with. But I had a help from designer when building it, when launching it. So for me, right, this minimum viable product does not mean that it should look bad, or uh, like it should have bugs or anything like that. That's not what minimum viable product means. For me, minimum viable is like reducing the scope. Like you can reduce the scope as much as you want, but still the product should look professional, should work best. There, like so for me, that's what the minimum viable product is. It does not mean that your product should not work properly. It does not mean that it should look scrappy. For me, it's like okay, I am allowed to reduce the scope as much as I want. I will just have one core feature. That's fine. But for me, when I'm launching something, it should still at least look professional. So at least that's what I believe in, and that's how I did it.
Yeah, I think for Feather.so, the entire platform or the dashboard itself, it has a very minimalistic look, and has a great UX also component to it, which is why a lot of people were asking who is the designer, who is the designer. So yeah, that's interesting. And when you launched, and I understand you were getting a few customers, and then you did some manual work as well. When did you find that this product is getting enough traction and I can continue with it? Like, a lot of people are very much stuck at a place where they're getting some money, they're getting some revenue, but they do not know whether they should continue with it or not. When did you find that big traction happening in your product, and how did you decide?
So like for me, right, I knew from the start that it was going to take time. It won't happen in 1 month or 1 week. So I was prepared for that, that it will take time. So for me, like getting to 200 MRR in MDX.1, it took, let's say, I don't know, like 8 months. So in Feather, it happened in like in 1 month, like less than a month. So I can clearly see that compounding effect happening. So in 1 year, Feather got to 1,000 MRR, if I remember correctly. Every milestone, the number of days to reach the next milestone, it keeps getting reduced. So it's like, okay, if you are in this place for enough time, you will see the compounding benefits. At least that's what I have seen. So the time it took to go from 0 to 100, it's very large. Then 100 to 500, it's a bit less than 0 to 100. Then to go to
Yeah.
1000, it's even less. 1000 to
Yeah.
2000, it's even less than that. So I was seeing that effect happening in my life. So even when I launch the next product, I can clearly see the compounding. So the compounding, it happens with all of these other things. Like for example, when I launched my other product, SiteGPT, at that time I had like a huge audience, like who are interested in it, who know about it, who saw that I was building it. So all the people who were following my journey for the previous 4 years, they helped give the push for this new product. But that happened because I was working on it consistently for the previous 4 years. So yeah. So I did not have plans that okay, this will happen immediately. I realized that, I understood that, I was okay with it taking time. I just kept on working on it because I see traction. I see people retaining. It's not like someone is coming and next one they are going away. I see people paying for it month on month. So I know that it's not something that is not useful. I know people want it. I just have to get customers for it. That's the only thing. So if it's something like if they are paying once and then they are going away, then oh okay, then maybe the product does not work. Then it's a different problem. If I see that people are loyal to Feather, people who are getting use of Feather, they are continuously publishing blog posts, then it's just a matter of time for me that
Yeah.
it will grow.
Yeah. Also, I remember you got some investors' requests as well. So I think you got Damon as an investor. So how did that happen, and what made you decide that yes, let's get him on board?
So yeah, so Damon, he was a customer of Feather first. So he was like very good user of Feather. Like uh, uh, like he uses Feather in such a way that I don't even know. Okay, this can be used for that. So he's a very good user. So like everything, every one of his blog, every, so if he has a content website that is on Feather right now. So then he reached out to me asking if he can invest. So after a few like back and forth, we finally went ahead with it. We just created like a draft document. We sent it via email and then just like approved it through email itself. There was no legal entity for Feather yet. It was just through agreement that's mostly based on trust and saying he transferred the money. This is how I will be. This is the percentage I'm going to give him. So it's just a agreement which we both signed on an email. So that's how like, that investment happened.
So after this investment that happened, did you see people putting more trust on your product, and like, did you see a huge customer base coming to the product?
So yeah, trust definitely got built. So once like Damon got involved, people realize that okay, like this is not some product that is just going to go away after a
Yeah.
year. So people realize that okay, this is something they can at least try. So Damon helped people get to the door, but the product helped them stay inside a Feather.
Yeah.
So yeah, so and yeah, like once I got the social proof, right? Like so many people that this built-in public community, this bootstrapper community, hacker community, who they follow, who they look up to. So once they started using Feather, uh, I got more social proof for other people. So every one of them, once they see that, okay, these people are using it, so it must be good. Let's also try that. So
Yeah.
all the initial users I had for Feather are mostly indie hackers and like all the solo founders, creators.
Yeah.
So these are the people who are the initial customers of Feather, and they came because they saw this social proof. They saw these other people also using Feather.
Yeah, I think social proof is a very good way to build the trust on your product and that your product is doing well. And I'll just talk about this thing that there are so many people that they know that they have to put social proof, but then they start putting random social proofs, which I think is maybe you might get your first few customers, but it might not be helpful for you in the long run. Like these social proofs are actually for your own product to to evolve, to be better, and to get your product outside in the market so that they can build trust. And so because if you just put some fake social proofs, somebody will come and they will ultimately realize that, well, this is not what you are promoting, what you're advertising. So,
Yeah. So yeah, like if you lose trust of a product once, it's very difficult to get it back. So
yeah,
like for me, if I launch a new product, I would rather not put anything than putting a fake social proof. Once you get
yeah,
customers, you can always get testimonials from them and put it as a social proof. Okay, here is what one of my customers said. Like, but I don't think it's good to put some fake thing.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So now that since we have been talking about Feather, and Feather has been going good and it's been growing, what made you like literally switch and start a new project completely, Site GPT? How did that happen?
So what happened is, so I was in January of 2023, I think. So I keep seeing AI getting a lot of buzz. So everyone on Twitter is talking about AI. Something
Yeah.
new is coming up in AI every day. So it seemed like I was missing out on so many things because I was working on Feather.
Developer FOMO.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, like at least as a side project on the weekend, let's try to use AI, just to see, so that okay, just to make me satisfied that okay, I'm not missing out on anything. It's fine. So I started a side project. Again, this I just took 2 weeks to build it. So now that I have enough experience of how to launch it, I cut down the scope massively. Like I removed everything and had only one single feature. So what I thought is, okay, I want to use AI, but I want it to help my customers of Feather. So what can I build to help them? So I thought, okay, every one of my customers have a blog, and some people have hundreds of blog posts in their blog. So it's difficult to go through all of them as a user, as a reader. So I thought, okay, why not create a chatbot where you can just ask questions about the blog, and then it will automatically answer based on the blog content. So that's what I wanted to do, so that it works in both ways, right? I will still be working on Feather, and I will also be exploring AI. So that's how it started. It started as a feature of Feather. I started building it. But then when I started building it, I realized that okay, I should not limit it to just Feather customers. The tech is it's same, even if I'm using it for blog, if I'm using it for website, the tech is same. So I thought, okay, well, like the market is huge. Like everyone who has a website can use Feather. Sorry, can use this new product. So why should I limit it to just Feather customers? I have like around less than 100 Feather customers. So why should I limit it to only 100 people when anyone with the website can use it? So I extracted the code from Feather and created it as a new product, and I launched it as a new product. So I did not have any expectations. Even if I get one customer, that would have been fine, because it took just 2 weeks. It was a side project. I did not have any expectations. But the way SiteGPT got traction, right? Like it got so much traction in the first day itself. So I launched it on, I think, March 31st or something like that, the end of the month. So in that month itself, I got like 700 MRR or something one day.
Wow.
So that
Amazing. You
is the
launched it on Twitter or
yeah,
product?
yeah. I just posted it on Twitter saying, okay, I'm launching.
Amazing.
So it's like it took me 1.5 year to get to that MRR for
Yeah, absolutely. Which is why I wanted to discuss the past, because I now understand that it just didn't click instantly. It was a compounding effect that
Correct.
happened when you started your first project. From there
Yeah.
it
So
started
all the things that I did in these 4 years, everyone I helped, everyone, like everything that I documented, every single thing, like led me to this thing. So when I launched it, so it's like it was something that I never seen before. The traction that it got, it it, it, it got 10,000 MRR in a single month. So
wow.
when I launched it on the first week, like on the first day, I did not even sleep properly for the first week, because everyone keeps messaging me saying, "Okay, this is not working. There is this bug." So it's like I was flooded with all these messages of people using it. My phone continuously goes off with notifications. There was not even a free trial there. Everyone
Yeah.
has to pay to use it. So I keep getting payment.
And people were paying and using it. And like how many users did you get in that 1 month?
So I don't know the user count. I only knew the MRR.
MRR.
It was 10,000 MRR. So let's say I had a $20 plan. So if you take that, that would be 10,000 by 20, 500.
Five five.
Yeah, around 500 or 100 to 500 customers. So it's like every single minute I get a new notification. Okay, someone has paid $19. Your MRR increased by 19. It keeps going off every day,
Amazing.
every minute. So I had to shut it off to just get some sleep. That's how much traction SiteGPT got. So when that happened, right? Like so it was not in my control. Feather automatically became a side project now. It's like I had zero time to spend on Feather.
Yeah.
But fortunately, Feather became very stable by then. Like it's
Mhm.
feature complete. So even if I did not add any new feature, nothing happens to it because it has all the essential features for the problem it's solving. So for the next 1 year, I did not work on Feather for anything, but still platform was going very good, and it's very stable even today. So that's one of the good things for me. Like if I had to work on both Feather and SiteGPT, like nothing would have gone anywhere. So
Yeah.
because Feather is so stable, I was able to take time to focus on SiteGPT. But so even in SiteGPT, right? When I launched it, so on the first day I launched on Twitter, I got so much traction. On the second day, again that traction is still going on. The people who are like signing up, it's still that tweet is still getting traction for the next 48 hours. So then I thought, okay, let's do product and launch. Like what will happen? So initially, my view was I should not launch on product end until I have enough users for it. Otherwise, it would go to waste because you can only launch. There will only be first launch one time, right, on product end.
Mhm. Yeah.
So when you launch it again, it will not be like okay, this is the new launch. So I
New
thought I
product.
should save it, but then I thought okay, this is again a side project. It's fine even if nothing comes out of product end. So I opened product end, filled the form, clicked on submit, and then yeah, it became the number one product of the day even on product end. So
Do you remember what day that was?
uh, I'm not sure. Maybe Wednesday or I have to check. But
Yeah.
the point is, I did not expect it. So when all these things like keep coming up, it felt like okay, this site GPT is at a different level when compared to Feather. The market for site GPT it's massive. So again, the next day when the product and launch got completed, it became a number one product of the day. I decided to like, okay, let's try Hacker News now. So I posted it on Hacker News. Then again, it stayed on the first page of Hacker News for almost 1.5 days. So it's like I got like thousands of new users visiting from Hacker News. So like all these things that happened in this. So then once it became on the first page of Hacker News and number one product of the day, so many people started talking about it. I saw the mentions of SiteGPT in many newsletters, like many blogs. People started like making videos about SiteGPT. So it's like I did not intend it to make it happen, but Feather automatically became a side project for me because I could not handle the load of SiteGPT. So I just there was no mental space for me to focus on Feather. So yeah, so all these things combined that led to like 10,000 MRR in the first month itself.
Wow, interesting. So looking back, do you think that you cracked the market with your product at the right time? And it wouldn't have been possible also without your mindset being that even if I have to, whatever I am building, I'll build it, and it should not be that scrappy, it should be professional, it should at least work for the problem I'm solving.
Yeah, definitely. So if I launched it, I don't know, like 1 month or 2 months late, I don't think it would have got that much traction. I launched it exactly at the peak of AI hype cycle. So everyone I know is talking about AI. So the even the customers I got in the first month, they are not real customers. They don't have a use case for it. It's not like Feather where they come once and then they stay for 2.5 years. It's like they just came to see what this new AI thing is. So in the second month, almost half of the users got churned. It's like
Oh.
I got 5,000 churn. So that's a different feeling. I can't express it, but um, so
No,
so
we'll talk about churn after this, but yeah, continue.
so all these users, they are not real users. In Feather, it's like if someone uses it once and they have an actual need and they have a budget for it, they won't leave.
Yeah.
There is no reason for them to leave. Feather is that good of a product. But SiteGPT, when they came to the product, the platform, they just want to see, okay, what this new AI thing is. Everyone keeps talking about it. Let's pay it. It's $19 when I started it. It was not much. They can just pay it for a month, try it, see what it is, and then cancel it. Even that's what happened. Everyone who came to SiteGPT at that time came because they just want to see what this new thing is. They are
Mm.
not actual customers of SiteGPT. They don't have a need for it. They don't even have a business to put this chatbot on. It's just
Okay.
okay.
So
Let's see what it.
let me just
Yeah.
try and explore what
So
this
this is
product.
the right time, right? Like it got traction because I launched it. I launched the right product at the right time. If I launched it 2 months before, it would have been even better. But still, I launched it in that period for it to become successful. And then uh, I also had like people who were following me, who were following my journey. So like everything that happened like helped me get traction for site.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I'll just put it on a sequence timeline where you thought that let's just get on this AI thing and let's just try out one product. And you did that, you launched it. And one of the things that was a deciding factor where you did not launch it within Feather was that I don't want to limit it within just the Feather audience, which really worked so well that when you launched it, you saw just, I think a lot of your Feather customers must be using it, but
Yeah,
the traction that it got, it actually validated that use case that this product can be used by a lot of people across industries, across verticals. So I'll let me just talk about, like, since we took out the topic of churn, and churn is something which is very emotionally relatable to every founder. So how did that point of time go when you saw a massive decrease in your MRR, and what were your thoughts at that point of time?
so in the first month, right, when I was getting all these new customers, it's like I felt to myself, oh, this is how like product market fit looks like. I have finally seen it with my own eyes. That's what I thought. I did not know what was going to happen the 1 month after that. So I thought, okay, Site GPT has product market fit. Like people are coming to the product even without me talking about it. So that's what I thought. But after the month ended, everything changed. People started canceling Site GPT. So I lost half of the customers within 1 month. It's like so there is a saying, right? Like if anything comes up very quickly, it will go away that quickly. So
Yeah,
that's
that's a very popular saying in India. I know this. Yeah.
what happened here. So I
Yeah.
got 10,000 MRR. I lost it in such a quick manner itself. So in the next month, almost half of the users got churned away. In the next 3 months, even the other half also got churned away. So I had to get every customer again from scratch. So this time
Wow.
I had to get the actual customers. So it's like I went 0 to 10,000 and 10,000
To see.
very quickly.
Oh my
So,
God.
so
We are laughing about it, but I'm sure you must have felt like terrible about it.
it's like I put Feather on a back burner. It was
Yeah.
on a really good trajectory. It's growing. Like if I hadn't stopped working on Feather, it would have been on a different level now. But
Mm.
I thought that SiteGPT is what is going to be my main thing. So I stopped working on Feather. So it's like okay, Feather is gone, SiteGPT is gone. What to do now? But still, I knew that the product is good. I knew that people has this problem. I just have to find these people. So again, I just like talked to the few customers who remained. I asked them like why are you using it? So even today, I have customers who came on that first month. So they gave me the feedback. Okay, this is why we are using it. This is what we are using it for, and they so because of them this roadmap got created for me. So I realized I talk to them. I even talk to them every day. I just go on a call and ask them, okay, what are the other problems that you are facing that I can solve with SiteGPT? So they come up with ideas. I just ask this, okay, other users, okay, do you also face this problem? How can I help? How are you solving it now? And then based on that, I started building these features and these new things. And yeah, eventually the actual businesses started using SiteGPT. So now it's like, okay, slowly it's getting traction. But this time these are real users. It's not like they came because of the hype and they will go away after 1 month. So churn was 50% in the first month. I got it down to 15%, and now the churn is around 12%, I think.
Oh.
So it's like yeah, it took time. It took a lot of time, but yeah, eventually I figured it out, like how to like get actual customers for SiteGPT.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great learning, right? I mean, you can hit probably a lucky charm or a lucky pot, but then you don't know what the learning, how can you do it? How can you replicate that success again? So, yeah, this was definitely a great learning for you. And so I think amidst this entire process that was going on, what made you decide that you have to sell Feather? Like, I know you had took a Feather at a back, gave it a back seat, and you were very much focused on site GPT. But did it ever cross your mind before, or was it only when somebody started approaching you for
So 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 someone approached me in I think October or November saying, okay, since you are focusing on Site GPT, do you want to sell Feather? He's also a customer of Feather. So I thought, okay. Then I started thinking about it. Like initially, I thought, okay, I will work on Site GPT for like 5 or 6 months. Then I'll come back to Feather because by then Site GPT would be stable. But the number of things that I have to build, that I want to build inside GPT, it became so massive that I did not have the mental bandwidth to focus on Feather. It's like I know that if I focus on Feather, it's going to become very successful. But I just don't have this mental bandwidth. That okay, I need to focus on Feather and then come back to Site GPT. It was very difficult for me to context switch between these two products. So that's when I started even like encouraging this idea of okay, is it possible for me to sell it? Because if I don't sell it, so it's stable now, but what will happen in the future if I don't focus it for the next 6 months, next 1 year, next 2 years? Will it still stay the same? Will some other competitors catch up to Feather? Like what will happen? So I have to focus on Feather for it to grow, but I'm not focusing on Feather because of Site GPT. So I thought, okay, let's try to sell Feather. So that's when I started looking for people. So I talked with many people, like many interested buyers. So everyone, the number they were quoting, it's so low. Like uh, so for all the 4 months of effort, I did not want to like give away for such a low amount. So it was, I think it was doing around 6,000 MRR or something like that. And the amount they were quoting was, some people said, we'll give you 1x of your ARR. Some people said we'll give you 1.5x. It's like none of these are matching what my expectations are. But yeah, finally, Tibo reached out, seeing one of my tweets, and then yeah, it worked out in the end. But yeah, so it took so much time even to sell it off. I started looking for buyer in October or November, and I was able to complete the selling process in this month, in June. So it's like almost 8 months. So it's a very 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 tough thing to do. Like selling, it's not easy. It's so difficult to find a buyer, to do the due diligence, to explain them the code. Like there are so many moving parts, and it can the deal can go off at any point. So it was very tough talking.
Yeah. So, I mean, interesting. And Tipo was a customer of Feather.
Yeah, yeah. So he was a customer, and he also invested a few months after Damon invested. So yeah, so he knew about the product. He knew about the potential of the product. He has ideas on how to grow it. So it's like he's a perfect person to take over Feather. So yeah, so when Tivo like told that he's interested in buying Feather, it's like a dream come true, right? Like he's the perfect person
Yeah.
who can take it. It's not like if I sell it to anyone else, there is a very high chance that product would be closed off. But since it's Tivo, I know that uh, he won't let it die. I know that he will grow easily to, I don't know, 40,000, 50,000 MRR, because it has potential, just needs the right person to grow
Yeah.
it. And I know that I was able to grow it as much as I can, but I know that I can't take it more further. So yeah, it ended up very good. Like Tivo has the skills to grow it from this level to the next level, and I have side GPT to focus on. So it's like a win-win situation both
Yeah.
for us. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just not important to sell off your product. It's also important to know who you are actually selling it off to. I mean, there should be that confidence in the buyer as well, that they can do trust. They can do justice to the product because of the efforts and everything that you had put in for 2 3 years. So I also know that you had onboarded your brother. So when did that happen, and what came about bringing your brother on board?
So like again, like I said, ChatGPT, it has so much traction. So it quickly became very difficult to handle everything on my own, like building new features, coding it, answering customers, getting on a call with them, emailing them, like handling support tickets. It became so difficult to do everything on my own. So that's when I talked with my brother to see if he is willing to join. So at first he started doing it on the side. Like he goes to his job, his day job, and then in the nights I used to work on it. But I used to feel bad even asking, like after working in the office entire day, on the night I have to ask him, okay, did you work on this? Did you build this thing? So it became like I felt very bad doing that. So that's when
I
I
know. I can so totally relate.
yeah. So I proposed this idea. Okay, like, do you want to quit your job? Like, I'm so since Site GPT is anyways making very good revenue at that time, so it's not like anything happens. Like we can take salary. It will be similar to what he is getting on his own job. So there was nothing to lose. The only risk is like site gpt can become zero tomorrow or
The
after.
only risk, wow, I love how candidly you say that. The only risk is that it becomes to zero.
Yeah, so even if it becomes zero, right, we can always build another thing. Like it's not like the skills won't
Amazing.
go away. The only thing goes away is product. So if it's not this, it will be next one. So there is
Amazing.
nothing that is going
Amazing.
to happening.
I love how you look at life. I think we all discussed there back in the meetup also. The approach that you take towards, doing things, and there's a bias for action always in your processes. So there was one question from one of the from on Twitter, that how do you actually think like this? How do you think that I do not have to overthink, but just do it, and what will happen, what maximum will happen?
So,
So
so the
that
thing is, if like I said, even in the meetup, if you have all the knowledge, then that's when it becomes difficult. Like if you have 10 paths before you, then it's difficult to choose
choose
one
one
path.
path. Yeah.
If you only have one path, there is nothing to do.
No
Like
other
you
choice.
only know coding, you only know how to like document your journey, you only know how to talk with customers. Then that's the only thing you will do.
Yeah.
So if you know this, okay, there are 10 ways to validate a product. There are 20 ways to market your product. So if you know all this, then you need to actually strategize before doing
Strategize,
it.
correct.
So
Yeah.
for me, I don't know all these things. Like even today I don't know. Like if someone said, what marketing do you do for SiteGpt? I don't have an answer for it. Like I just don't know what I do. It's everything is happening organically. So so that's why it worked for me. I don't know if it works in the long term. I have to learn things, but to get that initial traction, right?
Mm.
Initial thing, this bias for action, as you said it. So that happened because this was the only way for me. So even when I quit my job, I did not have a backup plan. It's not like, okay, if this just doesn't work out, I'll go back to 9 to 5 job. That was not an option for me. For me, the only option is I have to make this work. If it's not
Yeah.
this product, it will be the next product. But the path is fixed. I
Yeah.
have to build something on my own. So if that's the only path, I have to do things to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like,
Do it. Do or die, basically.
yeah. The only variable is time. So
Yeah.
will it take 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? That's the only thing that changes. But the path is fixed. There was no backup of, okay, I'll go back to a job. So
Yeah.
that part is decided in my mind.
Mhm.
So that's what helped me to launch quickly, because I did not know how to validate. I know that, okay, only validation framework I know is launch it and see how
Yeah.
users respond.
Yeah, I think it's very important. I think a lot of us try to put plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, and we'll be like, okay, if plan A doesn't work, we'll probably switch to plan B. But if you're just focused on, okay, I want to do this, I will somehow manage to do this by like whatever it takes. I'm going to do that plan A itself and not have any plan B, plan C, or plan D. Then it puts a higher, it actually kind of makes things happen in your environment as well. I might just go a little bit philosophical here, that if you're focused on one thing, even things around you, they start turning out, in that direction. They start working out in that direction because you're just focused on one thing and not distracted by a lot of other things.
Yeah.
But there is also one problem that I see, that now that you're saying, you know that you are not good at marketing. So would you take the approach of actually going on to learn marketing, or would you just go and take someone on board who is good at marketing and you will just keep creating because that is what you know?
So I tried this route, right? Like it's not like I did not try it. I tried to hire many people for SiteGPT to help me with marketing. So nothing worked out for me. Like I tried to hire someone to do SEO. I said that, okay, I'll pay you. You take over the entire SEO thing. It did not work out.
Mm-hmm.
So same thing happened even with sales, marketing, everything. So it did not work out in my favor. So now I'm actually starting to learn things like, okay, how to actually do SEO, how to get traffic from Google, how to do influencer marketing. So I'm trying everything now to see if it works out. But I tried to hire people, it did not work out. Maybe I just did not do a good job in hiring the right people. Maybe that's the problem. But so now my approach is I will do it myself first. Once I have a process set up, that's when I will outsource it. But the initial thing, I will learn it and do it myself.
I
That's
think
what.
you shared a very valid point. Like a lot of indie hackers or founders, for the matter of fact, they think that, well, I'll just outsource all of these tasks because I do not know about it, and that is the challenge that you face at some point of time, because you have outsourced it, but since you do not know about the basics of it, you will not be able to even guide that person to do that task. So yeah, it's a very fair point, and I also understand that first at least you get the basics of it, and probably to do the entire thing, or to manage the entire thing, you can outsource it.
Yeah, yeah. So if even if we don't know like what to look for, like how can we guide someone else to it?
Yeah.
Like how can we know that they are doing a good job or a
Yeah.
bad job? So that's why like at least we should know some parts of like if you do SEO, like how will you know that it's working out if it's not working out? So if you know the basics, then okay, once you have a process, a standard process set up, then that's when you hire someone and say that okay, this is what to do, this is how to do, just do it. But
Yeah.
that happens once we do it consistently for many times.
Yeah. Okay, Bhanu, we'll take a small break. We will do, I have this fun segment called rapid fire. All right. I'm going to ask you some questions, and you have to like you are, without thinking, you have to answer it very rapidly. All right.
Okay, I'll try.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Your first question: a 9 to 5 job at a FANG or an indie maker?
It's a new maker, obviously.
Your favorite indie hacker?
uh, Peter Levels, Danny Postma, Damon Chen. So there are so many people.
One. If you had to choose one.
Uh, Damon.
Nice. Any reason behind it?
So I just like how he operates. It's like he operates at a different level. So since he is also invested in Feather, I had a way to look behind the scenes of how he does things. It's very good. Like the way he does things. It's not like it's close to what I want to do. So that's why like I really like how he does everything. It's like he's like 50 steps ahead of me, but it's not like I know that it's possible to take those 50 steps myself.
Great. All right. Next question. One line elevator pitch about yourself.
uh, One line, yeah, so I just quit my job to build things on my own. I'm never going back. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Okay. One thing you dislike and one thing you like about your brother and co-founder, Dheeraj.
So one thing I dislike,
You don't have to think. You have to say it quickly.
yeah, but what do I say? So it's not like I dislike about my brother. It's a mutual, right? Like so when you have your own brother working with you, there is no accountability. It's like if I don't do one thing, he's not going to say why did you not do it? He can say it, but it won't be as serious. Same for me. If he doesn't do something today, I can tell him, oh, why did you not do this? But it won't be like a professional relation. It's always a friendly relation.
Yeah.
So that's both a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. So that's the, I think, both advantage and disadvantage.
And I'll speak to Dheeraj about it. Anyways, what and one thing you like about him?
So it's like, right, like I had a very bad things happened with my co-founder previously. So when your brother is your co-founder, there is this instant trust. So trust part is so I know that whatever he does it for the good of both of us, and whatever I do, he knows that it will be good for both of us. So like I don't have to worry about, okay, is he doing something bad behind my back?
Yeah.
That part is gone. It's like you have an instant trust built up
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
when
When
you're
you have
working with
your own, yeah.
yeah. So that's so now it's like I don't have to worry about at least that part. So that's the thing which I like in this.
I like how you remove all your obstacles. Like, okay, this, remove this, remove this, remove this. Great. Okay, next question. Reading books or watching movies?
Watching movies.
Your ideal workplace setting?
My bedroom.
Nice. Okay. One thing you want to change about yourself?
So I'm very like introvert by nature. So if I meet someone new, I won't talk to them very quickly. It will take a lot of time to get. So if I can change that somehow magically, that would be.
Well, I really hope for you that, because I have seen a lot of introverts getting, extroverted by, with time, basically. It
Yeah.
happens with time. All right. If you were the CEO of OpenAI, what would you change or improve?
Uh, what would I change? I don't know. I just released GPT-5 first. I, can I don't know. Like I can't even think at that level.
All right. We'll talk about SiteGPT after this. Your last question. Your comfort food.
Dosa. Any South Indian breakfast.
Nice, nice. Well, great. You did well. Somewhere you got like little bit, but all in all, nice. Clap, clap, clap.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so there was one question I had got that what are you threatened, like do you think at that level where you feel that probably SiteGPT would be rendered useless because how OpenAI and all of these are developing so fast they are.
So I again I go like step by step. So it's like okay, if tomorrow ChatGPT becomes insignificant or not useful, I'll figure it out then. It's not like I'm saying ChatGPT will stay in its current form forever. I will just adjust to how the market reacts. If something like OpenAI comes up with something, I'll just react to it. So it's everything is in my hands, right? It's not like OpenAI is deciding what I have to do. It's like if OpenAI does something that will affect ChatGPT, I'll just pivot it. There is nothing that's going to happen. Even if it happens, it will just get pivoted to something new. That's
Yeah, I think it goes back to the philosophy of if you have the skills, you don't have to worry about
Yeah,
anything else. You
exactly.
can you it's all you can always take the decision. You can take it's in your hands. So you can pivot it, you can change it, you can according to the because market keeps changing, technology keeps changing, and it's you who has to be updated with the technology. You have to go along with the how things are changing and process.
Correct,
So
correct,
yeah.
absolutely.
A little bit of personal question I wanted to ask, like have you ever felt like quitting, like no, I can't do this anymore, I should go back to job, or I need a better, like something better than this, specifically in those phases like when site gpt you saw a massive churn, or when your thing with mdx was not working, something it's specifically in those phases.
So, so, so yeah, I have a feeling when something is not working out. I had a feeling like, okay, what am I doing? But I never felt that I will go back to a job. That like I said, that was not an option. But I felt like okay. So I felt at times that when things are not working in my favor, I just not do anything in those days. I'll just take a break. It's not like someone will come to me and say, "Why are you not working?" There is no one to
that
say.
is that is the worst, right?
Yeah. So it's like whenever I face that problem, I'll just not do anything for that day or for the next few days. So it's like so I heard someone saying right like burnout happens not because you overwork. It happens because something is not working in the way that you
You
wanted
want.
it to work. So we just have to figure out like which is the thing that is making me feel like I burned out. It's like if everything is working out, you will get all the energy to work on that.
Yeah.
So the only thing when you will feel burnout is when something is not working out in your favor. So if you have that in mind, then it will make it easy for you to figure out okay, which part is making me feel burned out.
Yeah.
And it will never be like, at least for me, it was never because I overworked. It was because something is not working out in my favor. That's
Yeah.
when I had this feeling, not because I was working for 12 hours or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think also that if you're not happy in what you're doing as of that state, and if you're feeling a lot of anxiety or if you're feeling a lot of pressure, because you are not doing it by your own volition, even working, let's 10 hours, 12 hours, 15, whatever, if it is not out of your own volition, you feel that burnout. You're like, I am doing something which I'm not enjoying.
Correct.
So yeah, that is also one way that, people do face the burnout. But tell me what is next for you specifically, Bhanu, and what is next for Site GPT? How are you seeing your next 2 3 years?
So like what I am saying is, Society GPT, it has so much potential. So I know how big the market is. I talked with personally many of my customers, so I know that this problem definitely exists. So in from what I am seeing in the next 2 to 3 years, there will be at least some portion of AI in every customer support. Like it will become a very normal thing of
Yeah.
using AI in customer support. So I want to like make Site GPT ready for that future. I'm building
Mhm.
Site GPT for that future, and the tech is going to evolve. Uh, it's going to become so advanced that so by that time when tech comes becomes that advanced, I want to be ready and make complete use of it. So I am building everything by keeping that future in mind. So even if something doesn't work out today, let's say if your chatbot is hallucinating, for example, I know that,
Hallucinating?
yeah.
What
So
is what? How does a chatbot hallucinate?
yeah, it just makes up something of its own.
Oh.
So that is something like very popular in AI space, where like if you ask a question, chatbot just comes up with its own
Yeah,
answer.
yeah, yeah,
AI.
yeah.
So even though that problem exists today, it will not exist after 1 year when the new models keep coming up. So
Hmm.
I am building right now everything by keeping that future in mind, believing that okay, the tech becomes very advanced, that all these low level technical problems will go away automatically on
Yeah,
its own. And I
yeah,
just want to like keep Site GPT to build it with that in mind.
yeah, yeah. So interesting, I think. Evolving how with the tech, how it evolves, and to have that focus, to have that clarity that, well, I need to be there before anybody else also is there, and I should be able to capture a huge
Correct.
market segment, is what I think is, it's a great way to go about it. So just to wrap it all up, do you have any advice for us who are little founders and other people who are actually trying to go on this journey?
So for me, the only thing is I can say what I followed, what worked for me. I don't think I can give any advice. So for me, what worked is to just launch it. So if you have an idea, don't spend like weeks, months, or years to launch it. So launch it as soon as you can and start getting feedback from people. So
Yeah,
once you get a chance to listen to actual users, that's when your entire roadmap starts forming.
yeah,
If you just spend years just building something, and then after 1 year you realize that nobody wants it, so then all the time you spent in building this goes to waste.
yeah,
Instead, cut down the scope massively and just launch it in 2 weeks. It doesn't have to have everything that you have in mind. Just launch it and see what the market tells you, see what users are asking for, and then then you will realize how to take this forward. But if you are just spending years and years just working on it and then making it perfect, it's never going to be perfect.
yeah,
And then the risk of this is nobody would want it. So instead of building something nobody wants, you can still build the same thing but launch it very quickly, that it would not matter even if nobody wants it,
yeah,
because you only spent like 2 weeks on it. Like,
yeah,
yeah, like what, 2 weeks? It's nothing.
yeah.
So yeah,
I think,
that's
yeah,
what I would do.
yeah. Just to summarize it, do not, the we got this tagline from the meetup itself. Do not overthink. Just do it. Do not overthink stuff. Do it and see how it follows after that. And instead of, like, I think a lot of new and upcoming founders, they are actually in this phase where they keep thinking about the product, that I need to perfect it, I need to perfect it, I will launch it after I have perfected it. That is not the case. It should be that you just go out there in the market with whatever version, whatever smallest version that you have, launch it. And very interesting point that you shared was your roadmap starts after you start getting feedback. You cannot build a full-fledged roadmap without even knowing what the customers want and how you're going to take it forward. So yeah, very interesting, amazing. So thank you, Banu. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I
Yeah, yeah,
think
same here, same here. Thank you so much.
I think our listeners will also be able to take away a lot of amazing lessons and insights from this episode. I hope I did I did a justice to to about asking questions or whatever the insights that the listeners could take it away from. Just that I think it's very the ideology that everybody has got around in the in Twitter specifically, that you sold Feather, and it was a massive success. So it was not an overnight success. I want to take it out again. I want to put it out there that the success that you have achieved from Feather, from SiteGPT, it was not an overnight success. You also faced your fair share of struggle in SiteGPT as well, and you had to go through that hustle and that struggle all along. So yeah, that's all that I want to put it out there. So amazing, thank you for joining, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you everyone for tuning in into this episode of Founder Stories. I hope you had lots of insights to take away from, and do check out Feather.so as well, and SiteGPT. Also, this episode is brought to you by ProductLogz, a customer feedback management platform that helps you organize, collect feature requests, publish roadmaps, and share product updates with your users. To see more episodes coming on Founder Stories soon, please do subscribe to the channel, and I will be getting you even more interesting episodes with interesting founders that you actually follow. So until then, I will see you. Tada, bye bye.